coming tonight. I know hopefully a lot of us are watching on YouTube. Shout out for the Speedway Community YouTube channel. Thank you for coming and filming. We'd like to introduce our new superintendent for Speedway Schools, Mr. Trebley. He's going to come and tell us more about our amazing school district, and if you have any questions, you can ask him those. Mr. Trebley, you ready?
Oh, I'm first. Yes. Am I hot mic? Am I good?
You're good.
Morning, class. Please turn on your cell phones. If you get bored, go ahead and watch all the YouTube videos you'd like. I'm okay with that. I have the best topic in the world today because I get to talk about our schools. I'm going to take my master copy here. Oh, that'd be great. Teacher's pet. So there's three parts we'll talk about. Number one is our academic success. Number two, where we're at financially, our financial status in the corporation. And then number three, some new updated projects. Then I'll open it up for questions. So that's kind of where the agenda is. And on the piece of paper will keep me from telling too many stories. I'll try to stick to my script on this. And this is the same script that I gave the Chamber of Commerce or whatnot. So everything matches. I see that they publicize this online. So everything matches, and this is information about our schools academically. First of all, since 1415, our school corporation has been an A school, and on Wednesday they're going to release the most updated A in academic success that we have for our schools, and I'm not allowed to tell you what it's going to be, but it's going to look a lot like what you see right here. Surprise. We have the unique situation, as you guys know, in the association of the old Speedway Association, is that our four neighborhood schools, and our four neighborhood schools of Fisher, Newby, Allison, and Wheeler. All four are so unique, and all four typically brings all the same results that are very promising for the future where we're at right now. The state of Indiana, the Department of Education, they do the best they can, but they change the game often because of a lot of red tape and a lot of things that go on in the State House. And although as an educator and a teacher, bless all their hearts for what they do and the hard work they do, it's almost an endless battle of trying to figure out this target that continues to move on school corporations. We believe that our four neighborhood elementary schools, yes, are the best in the state, and whatever they throw at us, we're going to figure it out quickly. We believe in our schools, just like what the community has asked for many, many years, that we keep them small class sizes with great teachers. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the secret. It's the most boring secret in the world because people continue to call us and they want to know, how do you get the success that you get? Well, first of all, it's about the person, not the program. And the people that we have in front of our kids each and every day in small class sizes just brings joy to my heart and our whole corporation, our principals, administrators, and our community, because we're putting great people in front of a class size of anywhere on an average of 19. That's pretty phenomenal in the state of Indiana. I've come from many corporations that 25 to 30 is an average norm, and once we get to 25, like I'll talk about at Newby, we got a little scared there once we get to 25, 26, 27, 28, and that's an average norm anywhere else. And if you're a parent, you've been in other places, you know that's like, how do you do it? How do you get the success? Because we are right now, to go through some data for you, 34% and Speedway is EL students. In other words, they speak a different language than English. 34%. So if you're an elementary teacher, you have 10 students. I know this is weird to say, but 3.4 of them, they don't even speak English. If a kid or if a student walks into our classroom, it's not where they start, it's where they finish. Give us enough time in our corporation, especially if his child starts in first, second grade and they stay in Speedway all the way through, you got one great corporation to take your student all the way to the high school level of the AP class. And year after year, it's amazing how many kids pass college credit before they leave for college. So we'll get that to in a second. But Fisher right now, Newby, and Wheeler, they're all A schools. Allison missed by just a few tenths of a point, but we're not. But again, each school has a different clientele and different challenges, and we understand that. We are about 1,021 students in our K through 6, and our focus remains steadfast on reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's boring, but it works. We teach kids how to read. We teach kids how to write, because if they have those skill sets and we get all the distractions out of their way for the teachers, because remember, the clientele that's coming into our schools, we focus on those items and it works. Again, great teachers, small class sizes. It's over and over. It's a boring recipe, but if people would just do it, the results would be there on that. We are full at Newby. We are good levels at Allison, Wheeler, and Fisher. Since I'm talking about this area over here at Fisher, we're about 140 plus or minus a few kids each day. It changes a lot. We are a transient school corporation. Allison and Wheeler are more transient, but our numbers right now are solid everywhere, and we had a problem at Newby. Every classroom, every hallway, every closet had students in it. They had people teaching reading in hallways. They had related arts that were teaching right outside of the bathrooms in the hallway. Every room had a classroom. We had to combine different groups, such as our special ed group, our special needs, plus our interventions. Everybody was teaching from a small closet. And one day I walked in and I started tripping on people, and there was 2 classes lined up in the bathroom, because we went from 170 kids just a few years ago to 244. That was something to be reckoned with. And what we're doing right now, as I talk about Newby in just a few minutes here, is that we have spent 2 years monitoring, evaluating, and trying to get the best solution for our community, and that is building extra classrooms. And we don't do it often. We're the one school corporation that has 0 debt. And this is the first time, as even our groups have told me through the paper and emails, that we've never really been through this before, the corporation that had this good of credit and has no debt. We really don't know how to do that. Well, they know how to do this. But we got a great rate for the next 4 years, and we're going to add on 5 classrooms, over 6,000 square foot of classrooms, and it's all focused on students. That's what I love about this project, is everything we're doing has everything to do with the kids. So we're talking about classrooms, we're talking about student bathrooms. Well, there is a facility, or there's a faculty bathroom also. That's important. There is one. There's one, there is. But they're really thrilled about that, from my understanding on that, because the original plan was none. So we did add one. I'm like, you know what, I understand. I taught for many years in the class. I know how important that is on that 3 minutes you get a day to go to the bathroom. It's a lot of fun to fight for that. But it's going to really open things up. It was already on schedule to do a chiller for that building at Newby, because we did Allison Wheeler the last few years. We believe in our corporation that we get the most out of our equipment, but there's a point in time that after 20 years, you can only put so much duct tape on things. So I think we're going about that the right way, and there will be a new chiller at Newby also. So there's security doors, including, is all in this project. So our 4 elementaries, let me stick to that. The Fisher, Newby, Wheeler, Allison, they're excelling. They're A schools. The class sizes are small. Our teachers' loads there are still challenging, but I think we're doing it right, in the sense that, you know, when kids walk in our rooms, if they don't speak English, if they have special needs, we have the support around them with great leadership from our admin, homeschool advisors, and our instructional coaches. So just so proud of them, and could talk all day. And it doesn't do any justice, listen to me, if you walk through a building and you watch on a Monday morning, there's teachers teaching reading in small groups, and if you go on Friday afternoon at 2:30, it just amazes me. Our teachers are still teaching reading, writing, arithmetic at 2:30, and that's Monday through Friday. That focus of keeping it on those 3 things is really working. So very proud of them. Moving over to the junior high, they're a 4-star school last year. We predict that they're going to be close again this year, and that's not an easy task. That's when your whole student body, see, sometimes the schools you don't test everybody, but this ward you have to qualify. We teach all kids, whoever walks in our doors, we teach them all. And 25% of the state combined, both on the top 25 of reading and math on the state test. You have to be in the top 25% to get this 4-star award. It's a tough feat to get both sides of it on 25% top in the state. Proud to say our junior high scores were out of this world this last year. They are a 4-star school. Our math scores were top 2 in the state. We have some great teachers. But you know what? They can't get to the junior high levels without great elementary teaching. It all starts as soon as we get them. The sooner the better. The sooner the better. So if we get them in kindergarten, first grade, we know if they're going to go through our whole program in elementary, those great teachers, they're going to get to the junior high. Now sit down, everybody, because now let's talk about the high school. Our high school will have 22 AP classes next year. Most schools our size might have a handful. And when I say a handful, 4 or 5 AP classes. Our high school has 22. What does that mean if you're a parent? That means if your child, your student, passes with a 3.45, they pass the test with a score of 3.45, which is passing, they get college credit for that, to where most state colleges will accept that. So we have kids walking out right now per year passing 6 and 7 classes. Very few do the 7, but we have quite a few. Above 5 in that range, we're talking for 1 year. So when do they get to start taking these AP classes? Because most schools around us, you have to qualify them first. They only allow the people that can pass them. Oh, did I tell you we have an open door policy? We are with the Notre Dame AP TIP grant. We encourage all students to take an AP class. And how promising and how great is that for our community? That not only because you raise the water level, you're going to get those results. And we believe in that. This year we have 70% out of 544 students are taking an AP exam. Unbelievable. And I'll tell you the finance part on that here in a second. But our high school, with our AP program, 22 classes, 70% of our students are taking a college level class, and they can start. It was my first year as a principal, so it's been 4 or 5 years ago when I was there. We started a history, world geography with Whitney Baker, and the bet was only 4 kids would probably pass as a freshman taking a college class. It's hard, there's a rigor there. The test is difficult, and we had 12 kids that passed it the first year, and we knew we were on to something then. Our kids, if they go through our system, they can start their freshman year, start putting money in the bank for college, passing classes, and yes, we have kids that are going to college with 20 classes taken care of by the time they get in college. Unbelievable. They start as sophomores. So the second part of that, Mr. Kinhole, former superintendent, when they decided to move forward with this, we went all in. We so thank the community for the support of the referendum, because the referendum is a big piece, and a little piece of this is if you pass the test, if your child goes through the high school and they pass an AP test, we pay the kid $100. There's an incentive. Guess what happens? Kids want to take as many as possible. We cut checks for kids, $300, $400, $500, and if you're doing the math, that's passing 3, 4, 5 tests a year. It's absolutely phenomenal. Not only that, what about the instructor? The instructor gets $100 for every kid that passes the finish line. And yes, example, Nick Beard, Cindy Franklin Toon, those are 2 teachers in the high school just off. I mean, we're talking 50 kids passing an AP test in their classes. That's pretty phenomenal for a teacher. I don't think we need that because our people are so good in the high school, our teachers. But it does help, and it is a nice incentive. This community believes in the education, believes in what we do, and that's evident. I just got a text from Mr. Smith because I was curious. We had Speedway scholarships for Speedway, okay, and that was last week. Maybe some of you got phone calls. They called me even. That was nice. I asked them, do you know who I am? And I think she knew who I was. Here's the results. 2 weekends, we have about 20 high school kids that go into the library. They call and call and call. Last year, we raised $31,402 off those 2 weekends. All this money goes straight to kids, athletes, students that may be athletes. Last year was $31,250. This year, $31,402. What I said that backwards. It's a new record. So the most this place has ever raised, and they've been doing this for a long time. So over $31,000. All scholarships will go back to our students. That's another, if you're keeping score, another thing that this community does just so well in what we do. So if I go through the high school, again, the 4-star school, AP TIP grant, TIP Affiliate School of the Year, annual AP District Honor Roll, 3 years in a row we've achieved that, AP Achievement Recognition through the DOE, all the awards from Most Challenging High School, Most Challenging Public High School, Niche Best High School, U.S. News World Best High School, and the reason for that is our state results. Our state results from the testing, last year we finished 4th out of public schools. So when you start putting schools such as Carmel, only Carmel, Plainfields, and the Brownsburgs, Bar Reeve was one, West Lafayette, folks, we're in that conversation. And it's now 2 years in a row in that conversation. And we're just getting started. We're just getting started. If there's elementary kids looking at the high school, this place it is a K through 12 place you want to be, all the way through. Very, very impressed. We're all very impressed. But we're not satisfied either, because there's more work to be done. And if you ask any teacher, they go home every night thinking, what else can I do? On the second page, our athletics, it's hard as I start in the fall, and I really don't know where to cut off success in our athletic program either. If you look at the whole program, I wanted to show that even though the boys basketball team opens tomorrow in Indian Creek at 6 o'clock, well, the year before, I haven't really talked about a lot of the athletic side of this, but last year, some of this information, they're sectional runner-up. The girls basketball team this year, 16 wins, which is the 4th most in school history. Our baseball team last, they're getting ready to start again, but they were sectional champs. Our softball team was sectional champs. Let's not forget they were state champs in 2018. And the last fall, our boys tennis team, sectional runner-up, girls soccer, sectional runner-up, girls golf, ICC champion, the conference where we play in, volleyball, sectional champs, boys soccer. They had a great year. ICC co-champs, sectional champs, regional runner-up. If you look at all of our 17 sports, we're doing really good. We're right there at the end in sectionals, and as a coach, that's what you want. You want to get your team ready for sectional time and have a chance at that. So if you look at all sports, we're doing quite well there. I'm a big safety individual. I believe in safety, and in today's world where we're around, and that's all you hear on the news when you wake up, unfortunately, the crime that we hear around us, and I don't want it at all, but I'd rather it be around us than on us. And so we did a lot of things the last 2 years for safety for the students. And number one was a lot of LED lighting outside of our buildings. That was important to Mr. Hull, myself, and our school board. It was important that we keep things safe. We put security doors. I don't think people even notice it, but when we need it, we can shut the school down quickly. And we did that at Allison and Wheeler this last year, and Newby's going to get the same attention for this year. Fisher and the junior high is next on it. It's just a little different makeup, as you guys know. Fisher and the junior high living together. The high school is a unique situation. It's a lot of open doors, and we've done a great job of securing our buildings that I'm known to walk around from time to time and open doors just to make sure things are locked. Nothing's worth doing unless you inspect it. And we do a great job of that with 1,864 kids going in our buildings every day. 1,864. Last year was 1,792. That was the increase for this year. We have a lot of people going in and out. So it's important that we do and continue to do those things. We did add some things in our facilities, safety net for the soccer, if you know, on 25th Street. Sometimes our boys and ladies, they have strong legs and they kick the balls onto the road, which we found that the one day that we saw a motorcycle almost lose it, I think that was time to do that. So there's a comprehensive level of safety that we're trying to add to all of our facilities, all our places, upgrade, make them look nice. But remember, the rubber hits the road in the classroom, though. And that's what I believe in, is that we put money, anything that we gain in our corporation financially, we look at what's going to move the academic needle. Because our kids are the most important thing, not a parking lot. And that's hard for some people to hear, and it's hard to understand that. But when you walk through our building, that the first shovel was 1961 in our high school, in 1963, the class that walked through there, when they come back on reunions, when I or Mr. Hull or Mr. Smith, we give tours, they look around like, nothing's changed. You know why? Because we have great people working each day to keep it clean, and we believe in keeping it clean. We believe in taking care of our stuff, and we're going to continue that way. We have one of the most beautiful high schools, and it was built in 1963. Beautiful floors, original walls. It's just a beautiful building. So a lot of pride in that, and we'll continue, and all our buildings are that way. Our future plans. The addition to Newby is the big deal that's going on right now. The demo started actually Friday. There's going to be a lot of movement here. I think by spring break, which is just a few short weeks, you'll see some structure built. The goal of this with our Lancer BB architect, we have them working with 3D Professional And it looks like we will be able to open August 1st with kids in those classrooms. And that's going to be a quick turnaround, but we believe in doing it right. We believe in doing it as we asked for, and everyone's kind of stepping up to the plate right now. So the 5 classrooms total because of this reason. It's a net of 4 for us because one of the current classrooms that's teaching right now, we're going to turn into a bathroom. So we're taking away a room by putting a student bathroom on the east, I guess that's the south side, because our students only have 1 set of bathrooms in that whole building. So that's the reason why. Most of our others have 3. This newbie had 1. So that's a net of 4. It'll be 5 total classrooms. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to match the existing, which is a hard thing when the building was built in the early 50s. To find the same exact materials, you can't do that, but we're going to get awfully, awfully close. And then, like I've already said, the new chiller mechanic room update. I was always taught if you're going to redo some things on the outside, you better make sure the inside's taken care of. So there's going to where the boilers are, and a lot of the systems in the mechanic room will be updated, and the security doors. Now the other big news is we're moving forward with air conditioning the high school gym. When it was literally 90-some degrees, as if Sadie Disney's coaches volleyball in there, and I feel there's a lot of hot days for them, and there's a lot of hot days for watching. So we got to work with Stairs Associates, and we are putting in an air conditioning individual solo unit that will be independent, and I think that's going to be a great thing once we get that done for our community and our people. If we have increase of people, increase of student body, our graduations usually held in Jordan Auditorium holds about roughly 800 people, and if we have 140 students walking, we usually average around 95 to 110 that actually walk, and we're jam-packed every year. It's something had to be done. So it gives us an option, not for this year, but next year, that you know what happens as soon as you move into a gym that's not air conditioned. What's that heat for that day in May? Here in Indiana, it's always 110 somehow, it gets there. So we're going to be able to counter that and doing a lot of nice things in that gym to get it ready for graduation down the road. And for Speedway, it used to be that way. They have had graduation in the gym before. So that's in the future of that. I want to finish out the junior high is the most expensive place to run our lights because they're the old gas lights. So we're going to get LED lights in there, and they're very excited about that. So that's exciting. And also our band, I just need to talk about how great our band is. Our band, if you've been to a basketball game, our varsity basketball, girls or boys, if our band's playing, it's amazing how many people walk over and say hi to me who I know and say, wow, we might come back just listen to your band. And that's a true statement. And the pep band is, the band in general is winning a lot of awards. Right now it's music season. They're doing a lot of Saturdays, spending a lot of time. We've had a couple students win state and just this last weekend. So we're very proud of them. And Amy Mole has over 80 kids in our marching band and the pep band. It's just a wonderful thing to see. So if you're ever bored next year on a Friday, Saturday, even for football games, or come and just listen to the band. It's pretty phenomenal. So those are my 2 sheets. Financially, we're financially solvent, we're viable, we're able to pay our bills and then some. We have no debt, and we're getting ready to walk into a debt season of the next 4 years. 7 cents. Our referendum keeps us alive. It allows for all this to happen. So I can't say thank you enough for the people, 90+% that passed, that said, yes, we support our schools and how we're doing it. It's working. We believe in that teacher in front of the kids. Simple. Again, we're not going to go out and build brand new parking lots that cost tons of money for the property tax owner. I believe that we're going to go 4 years and then we're going to get out of it. And whatever comes up next comes up next. We do have old buildings. We have old facilities. Each and every year we look at the football field that we run track there and football and PEs out there. And that was built in 1961. So guess what happens to concrete over time? It's kind of like my knees. They crumble eventually. So there's going to have to be some thought in that, and I really believe in the planning process. We got great people around here that we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We love what we do. The whole team of Speedway Schools, we love what we do, and right now it's really working, so we're going to continue doing that. Here is a quick, please. I will have my class pet walk that around of student pet. So you can see I should have done that a little earlier, but that's the newbie plan of the drawing. of the 5 classrooms and the bathrooms. Did I give you the right stack?
Yeah, you did. I was just going to, is it going to take out of the playground at all?
Well, let's address 3 things. Yes.
Okay, that's a good playground.
There's 3 things. Number 1, there's a gate that's pretty popular by my house, by Newbie. Once the project's done, of course, for safety reasons, you're not going to be able to walk through the construction area. But we will have the gate back, and we're going to put a sidewalk in around it and out to the side. There'll be so that's on the south side of the project. There'll be a sidewalk that you can still walk in the gate and walk around to the playground. A lot of people use that as a cut-through, and that'll still be available. The second part is the playground area. We're going to see how much this actually, we can see it on paper, but once we once we see where the project lands exactly, then we'll go back to see if we need to add some asphalt to make sure that we still have kickball. And the third thing's a basketball goal, and I promise kids in my neighborhood I'll put it back up somewhere so they can play basketball there also. So yes, all 3 of those things will be addressed, and it should be back to whole once we're totally done with that. Very excited about it, and love seeing action on Friday. And they're quick. Once they're in, they do a lot of work quickly. So, any questions? Yes.
How do you update band instruments?
How do we do it?
Yeah, what's that mean?
There is a baritone, I'm going to say this wrong, a baritone tuba that's really expensive, a couple $1,000s. And for our kids, typically the band boosters, amazing group, they spend the money on the instruments for the kids. So there's a student fee, but a lot of people donate. These are the same instruments they've been using, some of them, not all, some of them since the beginning of time. 60s, beginning of time, that's high school. So there was a large amount then that was implemented in that. So that would be underneath equipment in the capital projects or rainy day. It's built into the rainy day right now. We'll see where we're at on that. But I want to make a commitment that I'm going to get some more band instruments for the junior and senior high.
Are you hiring any new teachers for Newbie to fill those classrooms?
No, there is no, because we're doubled up in the classrooms right now. They're in hallways.
Gotcha.
So they're actually going to get a classroom instead of being out in the open. It's a unique situation we have here. We have one class it was up to 28. I think Mr. Disney told me 28, 29 one Friday, and he said, we're just going to do it. And then that next day, it dropped to 26 on that Monday. I mean, that's how transient things are. So we have to make decisions, but we've never, from before when I got here till now, we believe in that's a good investment. If you're going to invest in something, invest with a teacher in front of kids.
What does transient mean? I mean,
In and out.
it means, but
So
what's their metric?
when we say that, and I've said that often, it's just kids that come in and out of our buildings. So we might start with a class of 100, and within 5 or 6 days, we could drop to 92. Like 8 kids just leave us. But guess what? If kids are leaving, typically kids are coming in. So it's always new kids. If you're a teacher, it takes a long time, a lot of work. And I think that's why our small class sizes work. At least you're not getting stuck with 35 kids in a classroom. You never will know that kid. So kids going in and out of our buildings.
Is that kids who stay less than a year? Like, how many kids what's the percentage of transient versus?
I'll give you some stats, and we're running that right now, just to give you an idea. That 30%, if you start in kindergarten, how many kids of those kids are actually here their senior year? And it was right around 30%.
Is that normal?
It's extremely low, yes. Like I think a lot of rural schools in Indiana or whatnot, they probably start at a certain number and they end probably in the high 80s, 90s. We just have a lot of kids that come in and out, which makes our results that much better. When we don't get the kid, we don't get the student in front with our instruction K through 12, it's extremely hard. So we'll have new kids tomorrow. We'll have new, and we do every day. And this is what's amazing about our teachers. They just grab them, they go. So it's a great question, and that's one of the things that I don't think they get enough credit for.
You said that you'll have 3 or 4 kids that don't speak English. Do all your teachers have to be bilingual?
3 to 4 out of 10. So we have 34% that are EL in Speedway Schools overall. No, that's interesting how this works, but we do have instructional coaches. We do have support people around the kids, but once they get with us, we start in on our reading, writing, arithmetic, and it takes time, but it's like teaching anything. And you know, as a high school principal, it's unique when you get someone that speaks no English and they move in their sophomore year. It's extremely hard on teachers. But you have to break it down, and that's where we're trained to break that down, and you do individual plans for those kids.
What happens to your percentage for students with special services?
Our special needs is, as I had was right around 17% overall for the corporation. And that is, what I really want to focus on is one student that comes in with severe special needs requires a lot of attention. And even, you know, those are the same kids. We accept all kids, public education, and we teach all kids, and all kids get tested. So within all our results, that we're still doing a phenomenal job with that. Andrea McIntosh leads the charge on that, and our building principals they are just some really, really great instructional leaders. And for the special needs students, as you can see, we did a unified basketball game with Cascade a few weeks ago, and it was probably the most moving moment in my education career to watch special needs kids play against Cascade team, and we were just kids. Drop the labels. We were all kids, and we were all schools, and it was just really amazing to watch all that happen. So, you know, Brian Avery, Jim Murley, those guys, Joe Smith, those were all the guys that led that charge. And when we had a girls basketball game a few weeks ago, our kids get great opportunities here.
Is there any opportunities that they don't get, that, in your opinion, that the school doesn't necessarily provide, right? It's not your job.
Yeah.
It's not. Is there something that you think that our school, as our community grows
Right.
and we are what we are, is there something that, I don't know, you wish that the community did with them or for them? Or?
Well, we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for substitutes, and right now we're looking for custodians. There's all different levels. People, if they want jobs, there's jobs there. I mean, they can contact our central office, and I can get them implemented there. I think the question is more for students, though, is there opportunities still lying? We do a lot of things with Area 31, Ben Davis. So the high school, they offer every career pathway you can imagine. And we have a lot of kids that's our pathway for that. As our high school focuses on our 4 cores all 4 years. And we're one of the unique schools that still do that, to graduate, to have the English, Math, Science, Social Studies. That was a long time ago, and we continue to do that, and it's working. So the opportunities in small school, my answer to that is they have every opportunity in the world. I mean, for the athletics side, it's just that. If you're interested enough, you have a great opportunity to play 3 sports versus other schools. You can't do that. Our clubs, our STEM and our robotics team, we have a race team that will be year 2 or 3 of that with Eric Roseborough. And the band, like I said, so I really feel for a small school, what we do well. And what we don't do, I'm okay with not doing for right now. That doesn't mean we don't. It just means that to do everything, maybe you're not going to be great at everything. You're just doing it to do it. So if there's an opportunity for kids, I think we're always open to listen. But I think right now they're busy kids. I mean, the high percentage of our high school, I don't think they ever go home. They play all the sports. They're in band. They're in the musical, which is coming up in a few weekends. Music band. So there is tons of opportunities for kids. Plus with the AP courses that they have, there's somewhere in that I think they actually have to study and take that stuff. I know. We don't have a study hall like I had. So it's, you know, they have a lot on their plate.
I think I have one more question. You brought up Music Man. So we went last year to Susico the Musical, and if I wasn't bought into Speedway Schools districts, I was after that.
Why's that?
There were, what, 200 and some students involved?
Wasn't it phenomenal?
It was amazing. It was inspiring, and they were so good, and I was so impressed. I'm wondering if you have the sound system on your future improvement list, because for the work they put in, I feel like they didn't get.
Yeah, I just got the quote today.
Okay.
What else can I do for you? It's that easy. Yeah, so we'll start with the equipment. Doesn't last forever, and that's one of those things. We have wireless mics. I think I saw the other day there's multiple, 9, 12 of them. They have to connect to 6 white speakers that are up, and I say that they had the woofer and the tenor part of it. And we just found out that they're getting worse. They're sick, so we're going to have to do something. So we will either, Amy Moll, bless her heart, she worked really hard on this. We're either going to rent something for this year if we can't do it right, but eventually that's going to be taken care of. Yeah.
I've got a couple of questions. You said you focus on reading, writing, and arithmetic. Do they still teach cursive or not in the grade school?
Do they still teach it?
Yeah, are they teaching it?
In the curriculum, it doesn't require it. No.
My second graders getting it next
They,
year.
I can't say yes or no for all teachers. Are they teaching that? I'd have to get back with you on that.
And also, did you see the article on the front page of the Star yesterday?
I did.
About that course for adult roles and responsibilities?
No, I did not see
It said
that.
that Speedway does have it. It's an elective class. And I guess
What paper was it in?
in the Star, it was on the front page, it started on the front page of the Star. And they teach kids, you know, how to write checks, how to do things they need to know to get out. And one thing that really I loved was this, a lot of it was about a teacher in Westfield and what she does, besides just following whatever the class says, the course says. She adds through her own experiences. And I know I'm an old lady and I complain about thank you notes. Handwritten thank you notes, you don't get any anymore. She had them write handwritten, which I presume in cursive, although my grandkids, I know, they want to print everything. And it seems like it's so much easier to write than it is to print. In fact, at one time, I wrote something and one of my grandchildren had trouble reading it. She couldn't understand the cursive. And I don't understand why they don't teach it.
Yeah, I don't have great answers for you for that, so I'll be honest on that of the cursive writing. I know that's a debate in the Center of Licensing each year wants to put it back in the curriculum. But for us right now, for Speedway, I'm teaching right now. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not in every one of our classrooms on the cursive writing standpoint of that. But I can say that the Chamber of Commerce this coming year, they're working with our high school that after our AP testing is done, which is the beginning of May, they're looking at partnering with all types of different people to how to balance your checkbook, to how to tie the tie, work on an interview skill set. So we call that soft skills of what kids really need. I'd like to teach them just come to work and be there on time and put your heart into it when you're there. All those things we're looking at implementing that into the high school.
How many are taking that class? It said Speedway. Most of the high schools in Marion County have that course, and it's elective for juniors and seniors. I wondered how many students take it.
I'd have to read the article to see what they're talking
It
about.
seemed like a very good course
Yeah, I'll look into that.
to take.
Life skills.
I know, usually I think it's the fifth graders that does the like Busy Town or Business Town.
Mhm.
Like that's one of their major field trips they do. And they do stuff like that, kind of introducing economics and just, budgeting and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So I know the fifth graders are having opportunity. to do
Credit
that.
card, debit cards, and all kinds of things that people do.
The skills you need in life. Can't agree.
Life skills.
Life skills for that.
Mhm.
Regina?
School lunches.
Yeah.
There's items on television about the kids that can't pay for school lunches and they get different lunches. And then there's kids who raise funds that help pay off the school lunch debt that the kids have. Do our students have school lunch debts?
Yes. And what do we do with those debts? All kids eat. And as a building principal, I'm pretty passionate about this. They get informed, and the parents. And if they qualify for reduced, usually it's because the parents not filling out the form. So then you have principals like me, or a lot of principals, that we just pay for it until we can get that form turned in, then all issues are solved. And if there's gap money on that, we are blessed in this community. Multiple times do I have parents and people, community members call me and they want to give a donation. So there's times of that, if I see fit, then we make sure all kids eat and all accounts are getting taken care of on the food side. I just can't, I was principal 12 plus years, all my kids eat when they're there. That was just one of my things.
Is there the same thing as the students that can pay?
Our free and reduced is 59%, so when you get to it's 40% that are paying, the other 59%. If we can just get everybody to fill out the correct forms, a lot of that issue would be taken care of. And I assure you, we talk about it pretty much every admin meeting, that how many do we have left, let's keep on them, lots of phone calls. So that's the one thing we need help on, and that's not something that probably in this room we need to, I don't know how to get to that point, but it's when you make 20 phone calls to a parent and they don't respond, and it's right there for them. We just need you to fill it out. That's the disheartening part of it. But at the end of the day, in Speedway, other places aren't like this. We are. That we still have, our cafeteria staff, Airmark, and who we partner with, we make sure kids eat. And breakfast, and lunch. So, and we have snack places for
I'm
us.
just kind of curious, because I always wondered when I hear that on television,
Oh, yeah.
and the Speedway Lions Club always gives a lot of money to athletics, and it just seems, in my opinion, that if there's a school lunch debt that needs to be paid, that's probably something that
Well, I never
Speedway
say no.
Lions Club
Right.
should look into.
Yeah.
As of right now, I think I usually get an update once a month on that, and it looks very reasonable, less than we've ever had right now. So we're putting a lot of effort into that, making sure the right paperwork's taken care of. Because that's how we get paid back for that anyway. So back to the personal responsibility of life skills of ensuring, I know, I'm with you. I think that's all my voice has, so thank you. Thank you, Guy. I appreciate it.